Is it over for Fatu? The Rock scare. WWE returns confirmed? Major WWE shakeup. WWE's next big surprise. What if one of the most influential figures in wrestling suddenly found himself at the center of a health-related discussion that left fans worried around the world? And what if WWE is secretly preparing several blockbuster returns that could completely reshape the landscape of the company before anyone sees them coming? Those are the questions dominating wrestling conversations right now, and honestly, this feels like one of those moments where every rumor, every report, and every little clue has fans paying closer attention than ever. The wrestling world has been buzzing non-stop with speculation about The Rock, growing discussions surrounding Jacob Fatu's future, and the possibility of some major WWE stars making their way back to television. When you put all of those stories together, you get a situation that feels like the calm before a massive storm. Let's start with The Rock because whenever his name appears in wrestling headlines, people immediately stop what they're doing and pay attention. That's just the level of influence he has. We're talking about one of the biggest stars WWE has ever created, a man who transcended wrestling and became a global entertainment icon. Even when he's nowhere near a wrestling ring, his name alone can generate headlines and dominate conversations across social media. Recently, however, fans found themselves concerned after discussions regarding The Rock's health began spreading online. As often happens in today's social media age, rumors started moving quickly. Some fans became worried, others began searching for answers, and before long, wrestling communities everywhere were debating what was real and what wasn't. If you've been a wrestling fan for any length of time, you already know how these situations usually unfold. One person posts a theory, another person repeats it, a third person adds their own interpretation, and suddenly the story grows far bigger than where it originally started. The concerns surrounding The Rock immediately grabbed attention because this isn't just another WWE superstar we're talking about. The Rock is a central figure in some of WWE's biggest plans whenever he's involved. His appearances feel special. His storylines feel important. Whether it's the Bloodline saga, a WrestleMania main event, or a surprise return, The Rock's presence changes everything. That's why fans naturally became concerned and wanted more information. Thankfully, many people within the wrestling community have encouraged patience and common sense. Rather than immediately believing every rumor that appears online, fans have been waiting for verified updates and reliable information. That's probably the smartest approach because wrestling fans know better than anyone that speculation can sometimes take on a life of its own. At the same time, while discussions about The Rock continue, another major topic has been gaining momentum, and that's Jacob Fatu. What a rise this man has had. From the moment Jacob Fatu arrived in WWE, it felt like he was different. There was something about him that immediately stood out. Maybe it was the intensity in his eyes. Maybe it was the explosive style he brings to the ring. Maybe it was the feeling that at any moment he could completely take over a match and leave everyone talking afterward. Whatever the reason, fans connected with him almost instantly. In a company loaded with talent, standing out is not easy. Every week WWE features some of the best performers in the world. There are former world champions, future stars, established legends, and rising prospects all competing for attention. Yet somehow Jacob Fatu managed to carve out his own space in that environment. That's why every update involving him attracts so much interest. Fans have invested emotionally in his journey. They see the potential. They see the charisma. They see someone who could become a major player for years to come. Naturally, people want to know what comes next. Will WWE continue pushing him toward the top of the card? Could he become a future world champion? Is there a major storyline twist waiting around the corner? These are the kinds of questions fans are asking right now. What's especially interesting is how quickly Jacob Fatu has become one of the most talked about stars in the company. That's not something that happens by accident. It happens because fans recognize authenticity when they see it. Every time Jacob Fatu steps into the spotlight, he brings an energy that feels genuine. He doesn't come across as someone trying to convince you he's dangerous. He simply looks dangerous. That's a rare quality in professional wrestling. And speaking of things that have fans talking, let's move on to the possibility of massive WWE comebacks. Because if there's one thing wrestling fans love almost as much as championship matches, it's surprise returns. Seriously, nothing gets wrestling fans jumping out of their seats faster than hearing a familiar entrance theme hit unexpectedly. 1 second the crowd is watching the show, and the next second they're losing their minds because someone they haven't seen in months or years suddenly appears. Those moments are special. They're the moments people replay online. They're the moments fans remember years later. They're the moments that remind everyone why professional wrestling can be so much fun. Recently, speculation regarding potential WWE returns has been growing louder. Fans have been analyzing everything they can find. Social media activity, interview comments, backstage reports, event schedules, cryptic messages, and even random photos have all become part of the conversation. At this point, wrestling fans deserve honorary detective badges. Honestly, some of the investigative work wrestling fans do would probably impress actual investigators. But that's part of the excitement. The mystery keeps people engaged. The possibility keeps people watching. Every episode of Raw and SmackDown suddenly feels important because fans don't want to miss the moment something huge happens. Imagine sitting down to watch a normal episode of WWE television. The show is moving along as expected, the crowd is energetic, and then suddenly the lights go out. Everything stops. The audience starts buzzing. People begin looking around. Then a familiar theme song hits. The crowd erupts. Social media explodes. And within minutes, the wrestling world is talking about nothing else. That's the power of a great return. WWE understands that better than anyone. The company has built countless unforgettable moments around surprise appearances and shocking comebacks. Some of the biggest reactions in wrestling history came from stars returning when fans least expected it. That's why the current speculation is so fascinating. There are several names that fans continue discussing. Some are former champions. Some are fan favorites. Some are stars whose stories feel unfinished. Others are performers who could instantly inject new life into existing storylines. The possibilities seem endless. And let's be honest, half the fun is trying to guess who might show up next. Maybe your favorite superstar returns. Maybe it's someone completely unexpected. Maybe WWE pulls off a surprise that nobody sees coming. Wouldn't be the first time. In fact, WWE has built an entire reputation on making fans think they know what's coming, only to completely change the script at the last second. That's what makes this period so interesting. The Rock remains one of the